Hey, good day, folks. Back in my magical office, which I posted something up the other day about it. So, hey, I'm going to talk briefly about a couple of things today. I got a couple of books came in the mail. I'm very excited about them. This one here, Fanatical Prospecting, and so that one's a great one to have. And I even got a workbook, which I don't think I need, but the workbook's not quite as impressive as the book. And then I got these little pamphlets almost. Here's one on mindset, small steps to the top, and overcoming objections. Oops, this one, that's overcoming objections. And then this one, last one, why network marketing. And so they're by a person in our company who is a lifelong achiever, John Haremza, who, when he started life, he was a maintenance man at a potato chip factory in Minnesota. And originally he was just looking to make a few extra hundred a month. And then he thought, well, if he could make 3,000 a month, that would be just miraculous. And so in the course of his journey, he's made over $30 million by following this model. And so those are outright commissions that were paid directly to him. And he's a super sharp, supporting nice guy, and I've known about him for a long time. And he's also got a couple other books that he's written, which I've ordered, and they'll be here this probably this week or next week. So anyway, to think about this concept of marketing and what it's like, it really is quite brilliant. That's the first time I saw it, I was attracted to it because I saw like this definitely would work if people would just embrace it. But probably a lot of people think there's a stigma to it, but I would think there's more of a stigma to being controlled by a boss or a company, or to having your income limited by the number of hours you can put in, having your freedoms and choices somewhat limited, and not to try to find a plan B or an alternative, especially if you're unhappy. I've been lucky in the sense being able to do music, so it's been quite rewarding ever since I embraced it. But the only way you can continue to make money in music in a significant way is to be on the performing treadmill and jumping from one engagement to the next, to the next, to the next, and learning a lot of music all the time, and hoping you don't get sick, and hoping the director doesn't take a disliking to you or whatever. So there are some pitfalls that if you had kind of some backup options, you might be able to not worry as much about that. So but everyone has their own journey, their own reasons. But I'll give you probably one of the things that does make it more difficult for people. So one of the mentors I was working with kind of shared a little about his initial approach to getting started. And he was in a very bad way. He had to make it work quickly. And so he approached some 250 people about looking at a video that would explain what he was doing. And about 70 of those people actually agreed to watch the video, or he would watch it with them. And out of that 70, 11 actually signed up. So now at that time, that particular venture, it cost $5,000, a little more, to get involved. So those 11 that bought the $5,000 package, that would give him about $55,000 business volume, and he would get 20% of that. So he made over $10,000 his first month in the business. But if you take a look at the numbers, 11 out of 250 is like 5%. And so that's about the return. So I can also tell, I don't know if my numbers are exactly right, but there was another legend in the business who I think he showed the business plan about 1,300 times, and 900 people rejected him. And of the 300 or so that said they were open, about 80 some of them got involved. About 35 of those were serious, and 11 were very dedicated and very serious. And those 11, and it's actually shifting down to one or two really dynamic producers, those people made him a millionaire. And so looking at it again, that's even worse than 5%. That's more like I don't know, 1%. So if you take if you take actually the original people that actually agreed to look at it, 85 down to 35 down to 11, that's still in the 5 to 10% kind of range of return. And so then there's another Foster mentor that I'm working with, who originally was an earner, a millionaire earner in real estate, and was very, very successful at what he did. His family owned a large real estate company in Virginia, Maryland, and Washington, D.C., and he got out of it because of the stress and the pressure was so much. He never had time for his family. And that's something about the music world too, like when I was really busy singing full time, I was just gone all the time. I'd come home for 2 weeks and I was back on the plane, back to New York, back to Europe, back to California, wherever. And then, I really had rather have my own real family than my family on the road, even though they were friends and colleagues and I regarded them highly. It's just not the same as being around your own reality, for me anyway. So, but so this real estate guy had a similar feeling that he was never home to have dinner with his family and to look after needs of his children. And so when he found this model, he jumped in on it, and I think he told me he's recruited around personally 4,500 people into the business. So he uses purchase leads, as well as he has a method of just meeting people and prospecting and offering the opportunity. And so he says, if you're if you're calling 100 leads, which is prodigious to call 100 people and offer them the opportunity, but these are people that have said they were looking for something. And a lot of times you find out, well, they're looking for a handout. And it is funny with leads. You'll call someone and they'll be like, well, who is this? Where did you get my number? I never feel nothing out, and they got the great attitude. Right away they're not going to be a player in your team. But and then you get some that are nice and say they'll look at it, but they never do, and so forth. He said the rate of people that will join is about 5%. If he calls 100 people, he gets about 5 of them. And said if you talk to 50, you're going to get maybe 2 or 3. And so that is that's kind of the foundation of this. Is you have to go through as many people as quickly as you can, that's kind of something a lot of people don't want to do. But you don't want to spend a lot of time trying to convince them. We're not selling. We're just sorting through the numbers to see who really is ready, has ears to hear, eyes to see, the time is right, they're the right people at the right time. So that really is kind of the magic of it. And that's what simplifies getting through the numbers, is like not trying to convince people that won't move forward, that aren't interested, that pretend they're interested, but they're not. And what we call, they're more suspects than they are prospects, which is how it is. But if you can go through those numbers, I think the founders of our company that have done extraordinarily well, decamillionaires in terms of their earnings, would talk to 100 to 200 people a day, but quickly. They went through prodigious numbers to find the serious players who they could work with. People had the skills and the quality and the willingness to learn, some of these things like the mindset, and we're going to take the small steps, are willing to overcome legitimate objections. So that would be, people have questions and they have objections. That's fine. We all do. And you need to be open to answering those people and just helping them to see a path forward, like what we're all about. But it is interesting if you can move, success, it's been said, success loves speed. So you want to go through everything as quickly as you can. But the benefit of that too, if you have a busy schedule, like you're an attorney or an accountant or a lawyer or a school teacher, or you have a family and you have kids and things like that, you don't have like 4 to 8 hours a day to be prospecting people. But if you can work, 1 or 2 hours every day or every other day and go through people very quickly to find out who really is serious and get them in front of a video and maybe a website, and that pretty much should be enough information to get them to move forward. So that's kind of how this thing works. And that's exactly what I'm looking for. I found a couple of people like that, but really right now we're on a spring push to go through massive numbers just to find people who are looking for something, who are looking for to make more money, to change up their lives, to make a change, to add something extra, or to shift out of what they're doing, and not be afraid to do it, and not be worrying about any so-called stigma. People always have their judgments about whatever you do, you can't win. If you're worried about other people's opinion of you, that's a losing state of mind right there. If you have a car that's too old, they'll say, oh, look at that old car that Tom drives. I can't believe he still drives that thing. Or then if I go and buy like a Rolls Royce, oh, look at Tom, he has a Rolls Royce. Who does he think he is driving around in that thing? Whatever you have, it's not going to satisfy those kind of critical people. So it really doesn't matter, Oh, I heard Tom's doing one of these things now, oh, did he lose his voice? No, I didn't lose my voice. So, it's just like I've always been interested in a variety of things in business and pursuing freedom and choices. And that irritates some people, well, how come you don't just like follow around like everybody else and do what everyone else is doing, and some of us just don't want to live that way. So you just have to dive in, and the proof is lots of people have been extraordinarily successful at this. So there's just a handful of areas you can get into where the potential to make a lot of money, which represents a lot of freedom and a lot of choices, and associating with a lot of really great, awesome people that are empowering and just really wonderful to be with. And one of the key opportunities is network marketing. And, also, of course, to some extent, there's real estate, but really not as a salesperson, but as an investor that has people who manage the properties, that you're not running around like a landlord with a hammer, and collecting rents. That is a real drag. I've done that. I don't recommend it. You want to just own the properties. And right now, certain kind of properties like commercial properties are really, that's going downhill fast. So, you don't want to be in that area. And then, to be a world-class athlete, world-class entertainer or performer of some sort, there is obviously huge money in that. And for some of the really, if you're a person like Warren Buffett, who's really bright, super bright about investing and things, that's an option. But for the average person to start with little or no capital and just a dream and some time and effort, nothing can beat network marketing. And there's people around that will give you the training and the leadership and the direction. I'm working with about 10 people like that right now who are all on the same page. They're not telling me different things. And most of them give free advice, free webinars, free information, or they have books that you can delve into. And, if you come with me, I'm going to plug you into all those people so you can benefit from them. It's like with my voice teaching, I have a lot of things I can share with people, but I also say, hey, don't be afraid to like listen to some other input or like get some additional teachers or coaches or mentors, because there's a lot of things you want to learn and put together. And the same with this industry, if you can hear the same or similar advice from a multiplicity of successful people, then that's going to be, probably a good group of people to lock arms with, to hold hands with, and to go forward. So anyway, so I just want to give a little summary of that today. This is, I'm going to be putting these out pretty regularly. So look forward to whatever a topic comes up next, and always happy to hear from the people that watch this what they think about it, and to join me in my private office here. And we will see you on the next video, and I hope you're having an awesome day, and we'll catch up later. Thanks a lot, friends. Talk to you later.